Good morning, and good morning again, and welcome back. It's a sunshiny day here in Manchester, UK, and it's set to rise to about 28 degrees today. We've got a little bit of a heat wave, absolutely fantastic, and what a day to be test riding. So we're just on our way now to Manchester Harley Davidson. I'll be there in a few minutes. There's a couple of bikes over there on the right, just come out of there, and we're going to pick up, first off, the Lowrider S and take a ride hopefully around the Salford Quay. So stay with me, folks, and next time you see me we shall be on the Lowrider S. Roll that intro. Oh, the devil are you?
How are you?
It's a fine day, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Which one were you taking out today?
Lowrider S and Street Glide as well later as well.
Yeah. Good. You've all you got the day for it.
Praying all week I wasn't going to piss down.
You were praying all week it was going to be like that.
Yeah. Okay, folks, so here it is, the Lowrider S. So it's a 2020 Lowrider S, got 92 miles on the clock. She's 114 with a stage 1, and with those TBR 2-to-1 pipes, the same as what I've got on my 48, it looks absolutely fantastic. And especially the way they're bronzing off as well, and they will get even more obviously with the mileage, and to match the bike. So first impressions, I mean, I've obviously looked at pictures and I've looked at it in the dealership a few times, but now's the time to ride it. And so I think with this bike, to me, it feels more planted, and obviously with the bigger softail frame it's going to feel like that as well. And it's going to be interesting now. We're going to test this suspension out in comparison on the new softail frame to the old Sporty, and we know it's going to be absolutely you know, knocking socks off it for sure. So with these twin discs and the inverted forks, now what I hadn't noticed before is on the front fender you've got this like guard down here which is protecting the chrome on the rods from stone chips and whatnot, so we'll do like that. It's a nice touch and it gives that more blacked out feel from the front. There's different options as well for the front fairing. This is the standard one, you can get a bigger one as well. Front indicators, I'd have to smoke them, but I do like the T-bar look, which is club style. You could probably obviously do something in here as well with this panel, maybe fit a couple of gauges or something like that. Not too sure on the crinkle back finish on the centre of the console here, but not to worry about that. Grips obviously you change. Smoke out the rear indicators, similar to how they are in a Sporty. Do like the smoke lens and the big fat rear fender as well to cover that nice tyre. So let's get on the bike and see how this baby performs. And just a side note today, it's about 28 degrees. Idle sounds absolutely fantastic. It's with this 114 engine on the big twin. It's got a real nice throaty sound to it. The TBR 2-to-1 pipes obviously help with that, but on the 48 you find it doesn't feel it is as complete, but nonetheless still a beautiful sound. Now manoeuvring in places like this, it goes everywhere you point it. The balance is, I mean, that tight turn there, you just don't feel like it's going to tip. It's just balanced so well. Oh yes, baby. So this really does want to go. That second gear torque, right from the off, it wants to pull and pull and pull again. We'll swing round that roundabout and take that road around there. My only thing is, the brake pedal is too far down on the right hand side. But does it want to go around corners? Oh, look at that, we're leaning, we're leaning. I don't want to lean too far, it's not my bike, but that would be scraping my pegs now, for sure. And out of the corners. Not the best roads really to fly around. There's a lot of wagons around here, a lot of stone on the ground, so we're just being a little bit careful around here. Oh, that's a tester. There is a tester for your suspension. Now, that is just rolling around on a U-turn with all the balance in the world. Okay, so first impressions. Now, even at these lower speeds, we'll just let some air in here now because I'm steaming up, it's so warm today. So just mellowing out and riding softly like this now, I think the bike, it wants to do that all day. So to me, she feels very, very tame until you open that throttle. And by God, baby, does she want to go. Again, this seat feels really planted as well. My only thing is these mid controls. But yeah, she wants to get round. So what are we thinking with this? What are we thinking? Would this replace the Sportster for me? Now, as you all know, I absolutely love my 48, and there's a lot of time and effort going into it. I love that bike. If I didn't have the 48 and I'd gone straight to this, I don't think I would even think about the 48. I love them, I would look at them, but there'd be no going back because this is all you need. Trust me. This is definitely all you need. Now, the stance now sitting down, your feet are firmly planted on the ground. I'm a tad over 5'10", so you could quite easily ride this even if you had a few inches chopped off that yourself. So I think, yeah, definitely would suit a shorter rider, and the reach onto the bars is pretty perfect actually. I wouldn't really want to come any higher. Manchester United's ground on the right hand side there. The vision is quite good, and most obviously on the 48s are slung underneath, as is mine, but with these I'm quite liking that. So we'll start from the front. Having the RPM, the rev counter on the console that far back, you do have to look down, and the same obviously with your speedo, but it's not too bad. If you look at the needle gauge, actually that's easy to read, but you do have to take your eyes off the road ever so slightly. We'll try and go down towards Quayside, changing the roads around here. Okay, so the wrinkled black finish on the back of the fairing and down on the top yoke clamp He's very tidy. That's a good decision. There's not a lot of cleaning going on there either, so I like that. Controls are basically your standard Harley controls, so nothing different to worry about there either. And there's a thing straight away I noticed as well, because I've got the indicator extensions on. I had to think then to find out where it was, because I'm usually clicking about there. I'm trying to think now in comparison to the Sporty, where obviously, you know, everyone chains out a lot of things to suit their style and needs. And so looking at this bike now, I'm trying to think, what would I want to change? So that's interesting, because the first thing people do with the Sporty, they want to change the exhaust because it's stage 1, and maybe change the seat and customise the tank and so forth, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So in my mind now, I'm thinking now, if I took this bike home today, now of course this is the it's trying to park up somewhere by the waterside. Of course this is stage 1 anyway. And get down by the Lowry Centre over there. We'll carry on round. Well, this is Salford Quays, by the way. This is our little inland, look at a little inland beauty spot in the centre of Manchester, or Salford. Okay, so let's get him back to the bike. First thing for me, forward controls. My knees are too high up. Now you do get used to it, don't get me wrong. You do get used to it. I'm just cruising around here now. It's you could do this all day. I'll take a breather and steaming up. So a quick break from the review now, and we'll just take a look over at the quayside, looking at Manchester United's ground in front, and the centre of Manchester, or Salford. Okay, yeah, so for tootling around town, this bike can do it, and for hitting the freeway, there's no doubt about it. This baby can handle it all. I can't believe how balanced it feels. I love that deep rumble. You know, it's barely ticking over, but that has got the sound, and it's completely different to how the TBR sounds on my bike, on my 48. You know, I've never actually been down here. It's quite beautiful, just for a bit of a walk around, bit of a bike meet even. So going over these slight undulations and bumps on the road, let's try and hit the grids. My impressions of, or my first impressions of, the new Softail frame. There's nothing bad to say, folks, nothing bad. It's swallowing up those bumps on the road as if they weren't there. There's not really any brake dive as well. When you hit that front brake, it's so soft and not snappy, and it is on the Sporty, and I think the twin discs have probably got a part to play in that. But god she growls when you just give it a little blip of the throttle. Power when you need it, I think is the right word. You know, she's so sure on the steering as well. And even roll into a stop, I keep saying the word balance, but it is. And again, comparing to the Sportster, it's not that the Sportster isn't balanced, because yes, it is, but because it's a lighter bike, when you're doing those slow maneuvers, you have a little bit more movement. With this thing, there is none of that whatsoever. And I could listen to the sound of that all day. And the other thing I noticed as well with these standard levers, or levers if you're from the US of A, oh, there's so much more lean on that. You know, they're quite chunky, but it's a sure feel. I use the Rix adjustable levers on my bike, which are a shorter lever, or lever, which I do like, and they're adjustable. And but the standard ones, previous, felt like they were too far away in comparison for the reach. Hence why with the adjustables now I've got them quite close. But these with them being chunky, and they're just at the right distance for my hands. I don't know what it's like if you've got smaller hands, that is, but yeah, good sure feel to them, so we like that. The growl of the beast, so to speak. So, okay. Now, after being on the bike for a good 40 minutes, I can safely say that this thing is a beauty. I can't get over how smooth this bike feels, folks. I really can't. Harley Davidson, you got this one right. Hey, decisions. So your standard controls, obviously the same as your Sportster and a lot of models in the Harley Davidson lineup. You've got your scroll there, your horn there, your high beam and your lights, left and right on indicators, and your start stop switch. So everything that you're already used to if you own a Harley Davidson. Okay, so just filling up as you do on all the test rides, take it back with the amount of fuel that it was supplied with, but we've actually got more in. So, you know, I'm thinking let's do some more riding. We're going to rip it actually. Let's take it back down the Keys Road and give it another rip before we take it back. You know, it feels like I'm giving something back if I take it back with more fuel in. So okay, just filling up at the pumps there. I'm walking back to the bike. I was thinking, how nice does that look? Now, as you all know, if you have a bike, when you park your bike up and walk away from it, if you don't turn round and give your bike a little wry smile and a little wink as you walk away from it, it's not the bike for you. I'm sure you'll all agree with me on that. You've always got to admire your bike once you walk away from it. Now, with this one, there's just no argument. It looks beautiful from all angles. especially when you throw your leg over it. Does it make you feel good? Absolutely. Okay, let's talk more about these brakes. Now, I'm a front brake user quite a lot. Rear brake, touching rear brake only on the corners when I need to, or obviously in emergency touching both. So I'm predominantly, like most of you, a front brake user, 70% maybe. This is so soft when you use that front. Let's just pull that front brake now, coming to a stop. Clutch in. See that there? When she dives, it doesn't, well, it feels like it's snatching there, but you can feel ABS. It's so sure. Now that's obviously due to the twin discs, and it's not pulling because it's braking evenly, which under high speed that's going to be an advantage. Let's give it some throttle. Now that's what we're talking about. So the last time you saw me blast down this road, just going past Manchester United again, was when I rode the FXDR. So we took the FXDR on the same route that we're doing now, and it feels so similar. It's just that get up and go. When you twist that throttle, she just wants to go. There's always someone, isn't there? It's a cash guy, for God's sake. You don't want to race me. So we're behind some American Classic here now. I'm sure some of you stateside guys will tell me what type of old truck that is. So the FXDR, she's running the same 114 engine. Now, the one I took out was standard, not stage 1, but it still had a fair amount of growl. So in comparison now, with the same motor, the 114 cubic inch motor, this one has the stage 1. So with the TBR 2-to-1 pipes and the open air filter in the map, what do I think? Now, thinking back, it doesn't feel as if there's a lot of difference. But what it is in the mid-range, and with these pipes, they really come into their own from the mid-range up, and it feels like you can just go on and on and on. Come on, lights change. I really wanted to get down on that corner now. We'll try it in the next roundabout, and it'll test out how this thing wants to go around the corners. When the lights decide to change and give me my freedom. There we go. So, I'll tell you what, I feel now I've been on the bike for a while, my legs are getting used to those mid-controls. I would still change them though, because I feel my knees are too high, but what it does do is it gives you more confidence in those corners because of the position you're in as well. But you do feel, whether it's psychologically or how high the bike sits in comparison to what I'm used to, off the ground, so you know, because I'm always scraping those pegs and it wakes you up a little bit. So with this one you actually feel like you can dive in a lot more and not have to worry about that. So we'll test that theory out on this next roundabout coming up, and these lights decide to change to green. Beautiful breeze on me now. The brake pedal's still too low down, that would want adjusting, but if you put it forwards on, you would sort that out anyway. I really do. I mean, I've just obviously mentioned about the brake hit, I've just obviously mentioned about the cornering issue, you know, with the mid controls. You feel as if you can take it around a little bit more. I don't think you'd lose that with the forwards, but it's the position I prefer to ride in. Yeah, no problem whatsoever there. Go on, stay on green, no problem. All the way round, over the tracks. Now that's it. Now I would be scraping there. I'll tell you, it feels as though it was actually doing the work for you. As I was leaning then, it really felt like he wanted to lean more. It was telling me, go on, you can go more, you can go more, you don't have to up right there, go on. So, because the steering is so balanced, and I'm not sure what type of suspension they're using the forks on this, so I'll just put that up on the screen now. I'm guessing it uses a monoshock type in there. I can't see that being standard springs and oil. Not on this bike, surely. And what are they? Are they 49 similar to 48? They're quite a fat tube on them anyway. Ah, she wants to lean. You take your hands off the bars. Now I can ride all day with the 48 hands off the bars. So for some reason, this one, it's got, I think it's got that. If you're going to crash, it's going to head to the left and onto the verge technology. Maybe. Anyone else clarify that? But it certainly didn't want to stay floating down the road. You couldn't exactly do $1 million bogan jogging on your bike, I don't think, with this one. It definitely, that was twice then, it wanted to head to the left. Now in the cars, as well, some of you may not know, you let go of the steering wheel on any vehicle and it should want to wander to the left, and it's in case you have a heart attack at the wheel or something like that apparently, and then it'll head to the verge and not into oncoming traffic. But how would they do that? Because that would work in the UK. But not stateside or anywhere else where you ride on the wrong side of the road. Let's try that again. No, it definitely wants to lean to the left. Might have to ask at HD over that. Not that you ever want to take your hands off the bars for any reason, but sometimes I do that and give myself a good shake if I've been on the road for a long time, so you wouldn't notice if you don't do that. Yeah, see, going over those bumps now, even though I've got progressives as well, I've got 444s on the back of the 48 in comparison to monoshock on the front, so a truly, you know, massive upgrade on what was originally fitted. And it's still not the best. There's not enough travel, and without putting 16 inches and spoiling the look of the bike, I don't know what else you could do with it. But that just brings me to the Softail suspension. It's phenomenal, guys, it really is. I have no problems whatsoever, and I think I've mentioned this just earlier on in this vlog, that I could just jump on this now and ride all the way to Aberdeen, which in the UK is up in the far part of Scotland. Well, it's further part, so I could ride to John O'Groats and back down to Land's End, the whole length of the UK. Quite easy, but I think I would definitely have to swap those mid controls. So sure-footed. I think what it is you know, I mean, obviously the Sports is a smaller frame, but you feel like you've got to work for the money. And I think that's the whole thing now that's coming to light, is with this thing, it takes it as a breeze. It doesn't have to work. It's just saying, hey, come on now, come on, you can do better than that. You can take me where the hell you want to go, and I won't think twice. Now when I load up the Sporty for a trip, you know, you can see it's almost got a little tear in its eye. It's saying, I know you're overloading me like, but you know, I can do it, but you really need something like the Lowrider S. So after this test ride, my comparison on this bike is that I'm sure, and I've been weighing this up when we were walking around the bike earlier, that with a twin seat on, so the pillion seat on for the missus and an assisty bar in the back, how would the bike look? So I'm going to look that up in the pictures and see, and make a conclusion from that. But squeeze back in this traffic. But anyway, so we're coming to the end of the vlog on the Lowrider S now. We're heading back to Manchester HD. My impressions of this bike are absolutely blown away. It's 1,000 times better than I thought it would be. Would I buy this bike? Yes, I would buy this bike. But I'd want to keep the sporty as well. But sometimes that's not a viable option, is it, folks?
More meat to it now.
That is an amazing bike.
Yes. Got a lot of meat.
Do you know
to it.
what I find is
The Milwaukee engine is just incredible, isn't it?
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a difference. And it's so planted. It doesn't matter whether you're riding it slow in the turns. It's so balanced, isn't it?
No question.
I can't get over how balanced it feels.
Yeah. Also, the aesthetic of it, the look of it. It's
That as well.
The throwing back to the double gauges.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few, and the other thing is, though, I think I would have to change out the mids for forwards.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think with the bike, because after, well, about 50 minutes or so now, you're starting to feel a little bit there when you used to having your legs stretched out.
Yeah.
But
forwards on all my bikes. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Take that off and put the forwards, and
I
you
think, you know what I think it is, and I truly think this. It never got me before, and I had a street Bob or Chad Smith.
yeah.
Thought of it twice, and I think it has to do with age.
You think?
I think that you get over a thing, you don't want to be like that. You want to be on your legs up, you know?